themselves into that grand final with a one-map advantage and one step closer to winning the big bucks and winning those 6 invitational qualification points, the all-important 285-point bonus for taking the top spot here at the August EU Major. And in comes that Monty ban. You called it, Hap. We have the target, but will G2 target Goyo? Are we going to have both going off the board?
We have seen, statistically speaking, if the Goyo gets removed, often VP seems to be struggling. As the Nomad comes out first, often a Valkyrie will follow, but I think that G2 has a different plan here. And indeed, the Goyo gets removed. So we have counterban on each side right here. G2 not allowed to use that shield, but we have seen that they are very competent of actually playing without the Monty shield. However, VP, as soon as that Goyo gets removed, they start to struggle a bit on some of these sites. So they really have to have their B plan ready. As the Goyo got removed, especially AVGs and sites where they often use it to stop default plants, to stop the attackers from moving into Aviator. It's now going to be a bit harder to hold.
Well, there's an interesting argument up to make in both directions here. We've seen G2 play Villa 4 times during the regular season. 88% win rate, unbeaten. That's the fact. They picked up a draw, and they struggled to a couple of those wins, but they got them over the line. Now, the big question there is, you've just said they've got a plan A, they've got a plan B, they've got a plan C, and I totally agree with you. We've seen massive amounts of variety out of G2 here on Villa, but given that they've played it 4 times, there's plenty of information out there as well. So Virtus.pro, they have no excuse here but to be prepared. You have to be prepared for all of the 3 teams that you could face here at the Major. So I'm sure that the homework has been done on the defensive side particularly to know exactly what G2 may do, to know what their first option, second option and third option may well be. So it's interesting. It could play either way. We could see a very well-prepared VP team here, or will we see G2 with even more myriad strategies in the pocket ready to come out?
It's something we have to mention though, because we know that, for example, Rogue perfectly counted off BDS back in the regular season, but since there is 4 weeks in between the end of Play Day 9 and the start of this mini-major, there is plenty of time to innovate your strategies, change things up, and just make sure that all the preparation that your team, well, your opponents have done is going to be useless. Pasha goes out for an aggressive spawn peek straight away. We'll be taking down Uno. It's a good start for VP. Let's see if they can keep that up.
Massive from Pasha there. We saw it from him yesterday on, I think it was Oregon. He ran out of the rear stage door and just started that explosive start for Virtus.pro coming in.
That G2 actually won that round, and that means that they are going to be 1-0 up. It's a defense-sided map, already 1 attack in, even with a spawn peak going up to them. And that means round number 2 is upon us. Trophy Statuary is the one that VP will opt to play. The Castle getting 6 picked in. There'll be some interesting strategies to come out here. Are they going to be locking themselves up in walk-in closet, for example, or extend themselves into the master bedroom, or are these Castle barricades being used to defend AVGs and have that little bit southern, well, expedition to the map with your defensive side?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a really interesting strategy for defending this site in LATAM recently. If Merrick's is showing us the closet there, that's perfect, and the triple wall as well. So where a mission has just reinforced now, generally speaking, that would be left soft. The middle panel of the triple wall, thank you medics, would be reinforced, and the one to the right would be reinforced, and they'll play usually a defender like a doc in behind there, somebody with an ACOG basically, and then they will have a man in the closet as well. And the player with the ACOG, the doc for argument in my example, his entire job is to stay behind that middle reinforcement and to just peek through that long angle, through the single door and in towards that window. They put open holes up in the bathroom wall as well to allow for that, and he just keeps an angle on that window, and then it means the player in closet, all they have to do is fight towards master, and it's actually proven really effective. I've seen 2.5 minutes wasted of teams trying to get established in master and not being able to do it. Now it looks like G2, they're going to take an opposite. There we go. Uno coming in and getting the return. How about that immediate response from Uno onto that aggression from Pasha?
It was still setting up, 2 minutes 30 in the round already, and well, you know that G2 is going to be responding with aggression after you just spawn peeked them, and it's exactly what happened. You know, able to pick up on that kill there is going to be launching them as, unfortunately, I think we're having a bit of a freeze again.
It certainly looks like we're having some trouble. So medics today
Will be helping us so much in this upcoming match, and we'll put us maybe up to the finals against you. But we're finally back in. It's going to be 3-0, as you see. G2 leading the charge. We're going back to dining kitchen, and that means a full rotation is upon us.
Fingers crossed, Hap, don't touch anything. We are going to see this one through now. I'm going to call it. I'm going to be optimistic. We're not going to have any further problems, and we're going to get to see all of this great action. G2 coming in. It looks just as hot as they were yesterday, taking the first 3 rounds here on Villa. If you've just joined us, we can tell you it's been a complete rotation of defensive sites for Virtus.pro. They have been to Dining and Kitchen. They have been to Trophy and Statuary, and then to Aviator Games in round number 3. And G2, they have matched whatever has been put ahead of them. They have got this locked down at the minute.
All right. G2 indeed. Very commanding lead so far. Of course, we cannot say anything of these KDs. We don't know who's doing well. We don't know who is doing badly. For all we care about is that it will be a 0-0. But G2 just has that starting advantage. Let's treat it as such.
Headed
all right.
to round at number 4 then. We are going to be going to Dining and Kitchen once again. So generally speaking, on the attack, we would expect to see those attacking teams use a combination of vertical and lateral play here. They're going to look to get themselves up above and get some control of that top floor. More than likely, they've got Uno with the destructive grenades of the Zofia, and that will allow them, along with Kanto potentially in those breaching charges, to open up a few vertical angles. But the important thing with Kitchen and Dining is to have a few players able to attack horizontally at the same time. So coming on the same floor, which is what we are seeing, because once those defenders start moving around inside, you want to have people in line ready to kill them. Now, interestingly, G2 look like they are actually forgoing that top floor option. They're looking to just push directly onto site here.
You do not always have to have that top floor control as long as you are feeling confident going horizontally. As I already took down one of the evil eyes, surely soon there will be knowing of the position of WTG. Just quickly checking his cardiac sensor. Not going to be able to get too much information out of it. Citizen just waiting on that sensor scanner as well, just hoping to actually get a spot out to the pulse. Right now G2 is playing the waiting game, hoping someone will be moving a bit too aggressively for them, so they can pick them up. Just a wrong rotation to come in. They know someone is downstairs, a Citizen. Keeps on wall banging or pre-firing it, I have to say. So far they have no joy, they cannot find a single one.
You can see Shockwave there just holding a close angle on that door. Pasha will open us up. It's just the battle of Pasha and Uno on the entry here. We get it in round 4 once again. This time Virtus.pro will come out on top of that battle. Rask taking some damage there in the living room, and right now the pressure is being applied by G2, but these roamers are happy to stay in location. They are not really being moved away at the moment. Rask, WTG, they're on sort of a semi-roam. They are close to site, easy to return, but not being overly challenged, at least not too effectively at the moment, as they lose a little bit of health, but they are certainly still there fighting. Kanto, he's taken a few shots as well, and right now we can see we've got Pengu just holding that angle in towards site. He's going to start trying to burn any of that defensive utility that might get in the way, and right now the push certainly looks like it's coming from the pantry.
Will be coming down soon. Virtue, Pengu, both right here in pantry waiting as Kento starts things off, takes down a mission. Rask will be found as he was from below, try to play that hatch. WTG will be taken down as well. Shockwave now tries to get a response of his own. Does a little bit of damage onto Kento, but not enough to actually get the kill quite down. Pasha will do so, but instant response from Citizen. The plan is going down in the meantime. A Citizen will be found, but it's all up to Shockwave now. Will he be able to find his C4? No, he will not. Pengu finds the kill. It's G2 to win round number 4, and even though they had a lack of information, I have to say, Tim, because you saw them wondering about roamers potentially coming from the top floor, even though that was not the case, they still managed to win the round due to their executes being on point.
I think that's maybe something that Virtus.pro suffered for a little bit there, not having any top floor presence whatsoever. I can only assume that G2 have gone in with the drones there and recognised that that is the case, and then decided we don't need to clear that top floor. It's not part of our plans to use vertical angles to get onto site, and let's be honest, they didn't need them. They got in there and got the kills anyway. So for me, Virtus.pro, they were, as I commented, very close to site. The roamers that they had out there, I use roamers sort of loosely as a term. It was a semi-roam, really. We had the Pulse, we had the Maestro, just playing off away from site in a small extension, but very easily to return to site, and it just allowed G2 to focus on the site too much. They basically had 3 minutes to just focus on that 1/4 of the map, and when we look at Villa, it's one of the biggest maps that we've got. It's absolutely massive, and I think sometimes you've got to use that space, make yourself unpredictable, get out there, make it difficult for the attackers to focus on what they want to do. Put men on the top floor, put them underneath if you're on a top floor objective, and just waste some time. G2, there was no real time sink for them there whatsoever. They had all the time in the world.
And you're looking at the drones that G2 had the last round. Only one was available still on Pengu. All the other drones have died. If you had one guy or two people on the top floor, it would be so much more valuable, as they could be rotating around freely. There would not be a single, point of information. As, unfortunately, we are being haunted today.
It's not
as 5-0 on the attack. Not really what you would like to go up against. And that means the last round of this half will be played right now. Is going to be the one that VP need to get that one round in. Of course, we've had to pause the game a little bit. Maybe VP had some time to talk and figure out what was actually going wrong. That means that they might be able to get back into the game right now. Otherwise, G2, if they manage to continue the current form, VP, where are you at?
Well, that's the real question now, Hap, is how do they get themselves back into this game? Where do you go from this? A 5-0 start against G2. Nothing that you have done so far seems to have worked. They've lost Aviator games twice. They've lost Kitchen and Dining twice. They've lost Trophy and Statuary, and they are now going to try that for their 6th and final defensive round. Now, not to pile on, not to add fuel to the fire, Virtus.pro, but we have also seen a 57% defender win rate on Villa throughout the first stage of EUL. So that to me suggests that G2 can expect to win at least 4 of those rounds out of the 6 that they will get. And the way things are looking at the minute, honestly, I can't see them winning less than that. So it's big trouble for Virtus.pro right now. I get the feeling that Villa may well already be out of their reach.
Could be out of their reach indeed, but we all know that there is 2 sides to a game of Siege, and that means that as soon as VP is going over to the attack, maybe they know something as well that completely shut down the likes of G2, as the X-Cars now will be used to open up on these windows. Huge jumper right there in the Astro window, I believe it was, will be stopping that set of X-Cars, so a breaching round will be utilized from Kanto, and that means they now have that bit of an opening on the northern side to get them that extra pressure as they try to force Shockwave out of that walk-in closet.
Now, interestingly, from what we saw of the last time they attacked this site, Hap, they were all G2 mounted up on that south side. So, again, coming into the game, I did comment on G2's variety here on Villa. The fact that they do have many different options. It was something you picked up on yourself as well. And it certainly seems that, once again, that is exactly what they are showing us here. They've got themselves in from the south side attack and they've been successful. They're now pushing the north side. They're getting into Master and really starting to work from that angle instead. And showing again a good mastery of doing so.
Shockwave has been taken out. I mean, the walk-in closet is now basically free to enter. The only thing that's stopping them is the smoke canisters that are being tossed in periodically by WTG. We're still alive, we're taking quite some damage. Ras now goes a bit aggressive, trying to hold on, but he's finding himself into a tough spot as he doesn't spot out the window on his right-hand side. Virtue is going to be able to pick him up, and that is going to be setting up G2 for an even bigger snowball to come down. Virtue with yet another kill. WTG to finally respond, but he will be responded to himself as Kento takes him out. It's all up to Pasha now. C4 will go up, but it will not detonate as Kento finishes him off. It's 6-0. G2 are here to go for a sweep.
G2 absolutely flying at the minute. There is nothing stopping them, not just here on Villa, not just here in this upper bracket final, but as it appears here in the August Major. They will just not have this title taken away from them right now. And I tell you what, coming into that grand final that they certainly look like they could be heading towards at breakneck speed here, Hab, whoever it is that plays off against them, they're going to have to bring something special. They are going to have to bring more than their A game to beat this G2 side, because they just look to have all the answers. But I've got to ask questions of Virtus.pro. It would be remiss of me not to. What was Rask doing there, Hap? He just ran himself into master bedroom. I know that challenges have got to be made, but surely the call-outs are there that the windows are being played at that point. There was a crossfire established. He just ran into a kill box there. It was as if he seemed to give his life away.
I think this is a bit of a panic situation, right? Because he checked the window in the bathroom, that was clear. He checked the southern window of the master bedroom, I believe it was. No, the eastern one, sorry, excuse me. That one was clear as well, and he was like, maybe I can retake walk-in closet, because if he's going to be able to do that, suddenly G2 find themselves into a spot where they need to use utility again to try and clear them out, but they didn't have that anymore as they already used it onto Shockwave. So I get what he tried to do, just didn't check all the right angles, did not have the information to go for it, and thus was shut down. It allowed G2 to snowball in that round and, well, give them a flawless health, really, and set them up perfectly to clean this up with a 7-0, 7-1, or maybe 7-2 if they're very unlucky, and go up to map number 2.
It was certainly a bold move from Rask. I'll agree on that one with you, Hap. And it just seemed like the reward wasn't really there for doing that. It's ultimately not paid dividends and got themselves 6-0 behind. Citizen, he's just playing himself off towards the Astro side there. So if we've got any sort of newer people who may not be familiar with the tactics that you might see here onto Aviator Games, there's two options. You've got the south side approach, which would be very direct into study. We've seen the setup. Thank you, medics there. That's the study room. We've got Pengu off to your left there in the south side of corridor. He's going to try to hold down that area and prevent Virtus.pro taking any control of study. The alternative to that is to push in from the opposite side of the top floor, and that's why Citizen is located over there on the Valkyrie, and he's going to look to pick up any of those roam clearers that look to come in, trying to get themselves a cheap entry frag from the north side.
Like this, G2 have themselves basically covered off perfectly as WTG decides to go for a flank watch. Might be someone coming down in the living room, as both are now watching that. Drones will be coming out shortly as well, just to find out that the one player that is there is just playing passively. I believe it is Cantor Ricchetti. Hanging on that living room is going to be spotting out his hat. Pre-fires will be coming in from WTG, but all he has to do is just stay passive, let them come to you, waste as much time as you possibly can, and as he rotates out, he will just be missed by the G8 of WTG, who will survive and thus fight at a later stage in this round.
Nothing wrong from Cantor there, takes himself a couple of shots, but not the end of the world. He will trade that for a minute in time all day long. Now, that's a great nade coming in from Pasha, and a kill onto Pengu to clear out the south stairs. Better from Virtus.pro now, and this is what they need. They need those talisman players, particularly Pasha, to be stepping up and trying to just drive them back into this game. They right now need to take every round one at a time. They can't worry about that scoreboard. They need to avoid looking up there to the top of the screen. They just need to start putting some numbers up. Get one and work from there. That's your toe hold. And right now, they've got a mission. He's out on that south balcony. Shockwave is established in study now, and Rask and Pasha have complete control over the south area of that 90 corridor. Pasha shutting down Uno as well, and this is looking good so far. But a huge play here. Not huge enough. Citizen gets one onto Pasha, shut down, as WTG also manages to take Canto out at the same time. They execute onto site, well timed from Virtus.pro there, and are we just going to see a massively attacker-favoured day here on Villa?
It could be the case indeed. If Virtus.pro can continue their current streak, if they can continue that one round and the momentum they had right there, they might be able to completely turn the tides around, but G2 is, of course, aware of this as well, and they will be going over to Trophy Stat Tree. They will be changing it up, just like VP tried to do, bringing out the Echo as well, just to make sure that plants are going to be a bit harder to go for, but as I say that, gets 6 picked out to a clash, which is very understandable for the current site. Most likely we'll be playing in the bathroom or in Astro, basically completely denied said site.
I'm going to continue to put it on the line, Hap. I'm going to say that I'll be amazed if Virtus.pro bring this back. It will go down as one of the classic map comebacks in all of Siege if they are able to pull this off. It is a huge ask, and that is a picture that I really want to paint for you, because you need to appreciate just how unlikely this is for Virtus.pro, especially with the way G2 have been playing so far, because if they do get themselves back into this, if they get themselves back up to 4-6, 5-6, believe me, you are going to be peeling Hap and I off the roof, because the excitement will be unreal. It is a huge mountain for them to climb, but there is a long way before we get towards this looking realistic. Now, interestingly, I did comment on Virtus.pro not playing a mobile enough defense here. They weren't playing with enough roamers for my liking. They weren't getting themselves far enough out into the map to try and waste time. They were just inviting the gunfights from G2 to take place, and G2 managed to win the majority of them. So now G2, they are playing with a heavier roam presence with Sim Virtue. He's out there in the mix somewhere, and I believe we've also got Kanto on the Jaeger that is going to be looking to make himself difficult. So we'll just see how that contrasting style plays out.
I like the fact that they reinforced the hatch there. Not sure if it's directly to counter an Amaru, just in case it would be brought by one of the players of VP. It's definitely going to be helpful. As will that hatch shot be from Pasha onto Kanto. Perfectly aware of what was going to be happening right there, and that means Virtus.pro have taken care of one of those roamers. Didn't even have to hunt him down. Just a single tap through that window was enough to do the job. As Pasha right now taking control of the walk-in closet, opening up into the bathroom as well. G2 under heavy pressure.
All four now stacking up for Virtus.pro there, as you can see on the master bedroom. They are looking to get in there, and I'm sure Shockwave will be wanting to get that triple wall opened. We've got Rask outside on the rappel now of Astronomy, just looking to see if he can close down any rotations through that bathroom, because obviously there is an angle in there to potentially get a flank onto master bedroom. Pengu is going to be fully flashed there, but will just back off with the clash. He's of course got that huge shield in front of his face, so it's not a major danger for him. He can just keep himself nice and safe there. Shockwave, not too sure about that one. Goes in to apply the exothermic charge. Electrification is still in place. Obviously, utility had been expended to try and remove it, but the nade was too far away and was unsuccessful. So giving up an exothermic charge to it and not reacting, that's a little bit of a strange one there.
It's indeed a strange one indeed. Probably trusted his teammate Pasha to be able to get that grenade into the right spot. Not sure, it's an Electroclaw, of course, where that would be located, but now they're not going to be able to open up anything anymore, as Virtue will be able to take him down. Rask with a response quickly, of course, as well. But the diffuser is dropped right there. They need to recover it, and it's still going to be Virtue that's playing on these Astro stairs, able to put down some pressure. And even if they recover the diffuser, which they did just now, it's going to be Pengu that has moved inside of that master bedroom, and surely will be, well, isolating him soon. It's just Pasha to come through, though. He's definitely plowing through these defenses of G2 right here as he picks up yet another one. And he will be basically carrying Virtus.pro over to that round win. Just getting these entries, getting these amazing kills onto that sledge. The L85, definitely a weapon that suits him today.
The Pasha show rumbles on in round number 8 there, and he is really grabbing this game by the scruff of the neck and trying to drag his team back into it. But that is now 8 attacking rounds that we have seen in a row. We are yet to see a single successful defense here on Villa, and as I keep saying, 57% win rate for the defenders through stage 1, so this is highly unusual at the minute that neither of these two teams seem to be able to lock things down. And for me, G2, they need to just drag this one over the line as quickly as possible now, Hap. They don't want this dragging, they don't want it lingering, because the closer that Virtus.pro get to them, the more intense that pressure will become. It will start to feel like they are playing inside of a pressure cooker, and those small mistakes that may normally be brushed aside will start to become potential issues within the team, and you know, those comms might just get a little bit more fraught, and things could just get a bit more difficult for them to close out should it get to 6-4, 6-5.
I think that indeed would be the turning point. G2 right here, still 4 rounds in the lead, Tim, and that means that if they manage to close them out in any of these 4 upcoming rounds, they will be in a very good spot going on to that second map. But as you said before, if it will be going over to 6-4, 6-5, then maybe things start to get a bit tense within the team right here. So they need to make sure they close it out as soon as possible, not allow Virtus.pro to get their momentum, to get the ball rolling. because they're still going to be up a second map or potentially a third one as well. So you want to shut them down right now before they gain too much traction, because if that's the case, then the plow will definitely keep on plowing. G2 back to AVGs. Hope that this is probably their best bet on closing it out. What can they do? How will they bring it? It's Pasha definitely on a tear.
Yeah, I agree. I think realistically you would expect to be able to pull together a successful defense of Aviator in games. Now, WTG are just looking to come in, and those drones are going to distract Tuno, and WTG takes full advantage of that, moving in and getting that entry frag once again. And that is 3 in a row to open up rounds for Virtus.pro now, and it's becoming a bit of a struggle for G2 to play from 4 versus 5 in the last 3 rounds. That is the numbers that they have had to face off against. And just wondering with this Aviator Games defense, Kanto, he's out there on those east stairs. He's just going to look to see if he can pick up the sledge of Pasha as he moves around, and it will certainly be a big pick if they can do that. But I'm just wondering with Aviator Games whether they might benefit G2 here from just having a second man with Pengu on those south stairs. He hasn't seen too much pressure yet, but I'm sure that it will come at some point. We can see that he's there all alone on the smoke once again, and it can be a very important area, and he was easily challenged and removed from there last time, and maybe G2 just need to get a tighter grip on that area of the map.
Maybe, just maybe they need to bring some more aggression to the likes of VP. They're playing really passively right now, as you can see, and it just allows Pasha to get the grenades into the right corners, just go for these free fires onto these players, their positions. What if you swing him first? Would that be enough to actually stop the man himself? As right now, VP moving up these main stairs. It's Rask to be the first one in. Kanto still holding off onto the red stairs, as right now main stairs corridor and study control have been seized by Virtus.pro. G2, 1 minute on the clock, they're 1 man down, still have quite some utility to work with. They have Citizen ready on 90 to potentially go for a flank if they decide to push from that hallway into the door again. They still have these smoke canisters on Pengu, I believe at least 2 of them, to stop a potential plan to come through. Is it going to be enough, though, with these last 40 seconds? That is the question. Is it going to be enough for them to close it out?
Kills start to come in now as Shockwave will take down Virtue with a headshot. That leaves us 3 versus 5, and G2, they are scrambling for anything they can find in this round, and find nothing is what it will be, as it's a flawless round for Virtus.pro. They come in with all 5 without taking 1 death in return, and Virtus.pro are sending a message here. Anything you can do, we're hoping to at least match it, if not better. Now, they are going to be going for a 6-0 here in return to take us to overtime. I would still be amazed, Hap, but they've got themselves 50% of the way there now, and I'm starting to paint a picture that maybe Virtus.pro can actually do this. We're going to be heading down to Dining and Kitchen. It's going to be the first time that we see G2 go to a downstairs bomb site, and the longer that this goes on, it only benefits Virtus.pro.
It definitely does. G2 not going to be able to make the quick work out of VP as they might have expected they would be able to make after a 6-0 half. As VP starting to fight back. On the defense side of map so far, we've had 9 attacking round wins, something that is out of the ordinary, but is to be expected to happen every once in a while, especially in a major. As Uno using that Oryx to get rid of every single cabinet that he doesn't like, or walls, make some rotations, as Oryx now only takes 5 damage from punching himself through a destructible surface instead of 10. It's a small buff, but enough, and, well, basically enough to make him viable for a team like G2 to create these rotations. Really like what they're doing here, the complete wall being taken on a Memorial, something we do not often see, do we?
No, not at all, and it is going to open up some long angles for G2 to potentially use there, make it very difficult for the defenders to approach. But I think overall in this round for me, one of the important factors is going to be that entry battle, and I think G2 need to be winning that. As you said, Hap, last round they appeared very passive, weren't really keen to push on and take those gunfights. We saw Pengu pushed all the way back from south stairs, deep into sight, and then was just dispatched once Virtus.pro got their feet on the ground in that area. And I think G2, they need to start defending with a higher line here. They need to get up into the faces of Virtus.pro and try and take that initiative, get that opening kill, have that round at 5 versus 4 in terms of man count, and see if they can push it over the line from there.
All right. As right now we have a bit of a slow period. Pasha just opening up some vertical angles, hoping to get some control of this wide setup, this very roam-heavy setup that G2 brought. Every single wall has been opened up, but that is, of course, to aid an ACOG that, for example, Kento has, but no longer. Pasha picks him up, and the man is on an absolute tear. I believe he's on 5 opening kills so far, and that is including, well, basically excluding the rounds we have not seen. And VP definitely living on the back of him so far.
Once again, Pasha just proving that he is a massive, massive part of this Virtus.pro team. Coming in, as you say, 5 opening kills at least, if not potentially 1 or 2 more. And it really is doing an awful lot of work for his team at the minute to just help them have that man advantage and always be playing from a position of power. And right now we can see Virtus.pro have got that top floor control that I spoke about when G2 were attacking this site. It's something that G2 didn't worry about, and they achieved plenty of success without it, but it can be absolutely lethal because it starts forcing the defenders to move around. And we can see Rask is in position here as the Ash. He can make these lateral challenges onto site, and in he goes. Now, he won't find anybody at the minute and will be shut down immediately by Pengu. Extremely important kill there. That could easily have been a 2 or a 3 for Rask, but WTG, he follows straight in now. He's not aware of the man in pantry, and Uno will step out and get an important frag on the Oryx there. That now leaves us in a 4 versus 3, but it's leveled out, squared away as Shockwave takes the kill onto Pengu. We can see so much direct pressure coming towards site. Virtus.pro, they are just forcing themselves in through that door, one after another, throwing themselves into the breach.
I think all these opened walls will confuse them a little bit as well. Basically, the only way they can actually actively enter from is going to be that one door we've seen many go through before, as that is the one most covered spot for the attackers to actually work with. As Pasha decides to, well, surrender that top floor control whilst there's still a player up there. I believe that's going to be Citizen, has the opportunity to flank down right now. The execute is happening. They have site control. The plant will go down. The info is coming through as well. As the C4 is going to get prepped, it's not going to be touched over, as Pasha will be there for the cover. And that means 45 seconds now on the clock. Citizen will play a crucial role right here. He's going to have to go from top. He's going to have to find out where these players are and take them down one by one. Soften it up for Uno to go for an eventual defuse of that lunch box. But is it going to be able to find anybody? Doesn't look like it. Only Shockwave is on side. The rest is long gone. It's going to be able to find that kill. It's all up to Citizen now. A 1v3 situation, 17 seconds left. This is a VP round.
It certainly looks that way right now. It's going to be the clock ticking away. There we go. There is no time now for Citizen to complete this diffuser animation, and he will be taken out by Pasha from above. Virtus.pro playing extremely well on the attack so far and find themselves now at 6-4, and this one starts to become a real problem for G2 here. Virtus.pro have got themselves some huge momentum now coming into round 11. This one looked like it was likely to be over inside 7 or 8 rounds, but G2 have just been completely unable to close this out on the defense, and I think that round showed a little bit more of a glimmer of maybe what we need, but it still wasn't the aggression from G2. The kills that they got came from within sight. It was punishing players, Rask and WTG, as they tried to push in and aggress onto site, and they're always reacting to Virtus.pro at the minute, whereas G2, we need to see them come out, take that initiative, get an early couple of kills, and just know that they're in a round 5 versus 3 and can push themselves over the line. They're going to be heading back to Aviator games again. They've defended there twice and lost there twice. They need to show us something different here.
They need to take down Pasha. The man is on an absolute tear, Tim. 10 on 2 after rehost, and rehost came in round number 6, meaning he has a 2 KPR post rehost. He is absolutely demolishing the players of G2. He needs to be stopped for them to have an opportunity of actually getting this win in. Now, you could be going for a spawn peek, but it doesn't look like G2 is attempting or thinking about it, even as they're setting up their usual way. So that means they're going to have to find a way differently from a spawn peek to take him down. Now, are you going to be more aggressive, or are you going to be putting that shield on the front line, maybe on the main stairs? That is consistently been a spot where the players of Virtus.pro are pushing from. I think that might be the right place for him to play. And as you see Pengu now changing the position of his shield, that might be a big telltale of indeed Uno going to play with Pengu and support him, making sure that the main stairs will be under control of G2 together with Study. as a result.
I think that's important. It's something that I picked up on previously, giving that position a little bit more attention, supporting Pengu by sending the second man out there with him. Of course, that is assuming that Uno remains in that position as the clash and doesn't rotate around. But we can see that early pressure is being applied in that direction already, and it is something that is important. We need to keep hold of that because both times that Virtus.pro have won this round, a large amount of that pressure has come from that south side of 90 corridor into sight behind the bar, and so G2, they need to try and keep hold of that at all costs. And right now, a big entry kill or two just to fire them back up, just to put that initiative in their hands will be a huge thing for them right now. If this one goes to 6-5, it's going to be a massive ask for G2 at that point to try and close it out, just because Virtus.pro have got themselves so much momentum now. What can Virtus.pro do about this clash? Have G2 found the answer here by supporting that hold of South Stairs more? Interestingly, in the 4 times that we've seen them play Villa in Stage 1, they've only lost Hap 5 defensive rounds in 4 full matches here on Villa. So they have got a good pedigree on the defence. It's just that Virtus.pro, they've got the key and they've been unlocking it every single time.
Much longer will the key last though, as the grenade will be tossed in, but we'll be finding actually nobody. Citizen still in the living room here, able to actually go for a flank, but Pasha seems to be aware of that fact. I'm not sure if they have drones or where they're located at, but they just, oh yeah, there we go, a mission with the drone, knows exactly where Citizen is right now. Pasha will thus return to try and put some pressure down onto the Ela of G2, and Citizen will have to choose to fall back because he also knows that that plant was coming for him as Rats goes low. Just quickly checking how many drones are still left. They have 5 drones available to themselves, 6 drones actually on the likes of VP. There should be enough to drone out these last players of G2 in his last dying seconds, but the defuser will be dropped down. Citizen is going to be able to shut him down, and that means that right now VP needs to make a decision. Are we going to recover that diffuser, or are we going to be going for these kills? And with this clash playing on this hallway, it is going to be ever so much harder for them to do so. G2 might have found the way to completely shut them down now. Is it going to be enough though? These last 10 seconds will tell, as W2G hopes to enter the side, but he will go down. Pasture will be taken down as well. Virtue with the cover is the 360 from the clash, but it will not last. However, G2 with Pengu are going to be able to put up a flawless round, and they will eventually still manage to win the round and that matchup, but it's taken them a long time, from 6-0 all the way up to 6-4 before the final 7-4 came through. It must be a relief for them because it seemed like a comeback was looming.
G2 finish with a flourish of a flawless round there, coming in and asserting some dominance on the defence finally, but it needed that clash of Uno just to put them over the line and prevent that Virtus.pro push on the South Stairs.